And
Okay, my hair is frizzy.
gorge.
We are gorge.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? All right. So today I'm bringing together the both of you, and really didn't explain why. So I've got Jeff Campbell here, who is the owner and creator of Emancipation Theater Company, which I have been a subscriber to and a supporter of since I met you via Zoom in 2020.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And then it was 2021 when I met Mercy from Project ICU, Shared Power Initiative, and We Empower Women Through Homeownership. And what's interesting to me is that I have obviously signed on to sponsor and promote and share the good word of your upcoming show, Jedediah Blackstone.
Traveling poet and storyteller.
Traveling poet and storyteller.
That's right.
Straight out of Central City.
That's right.
There's like a lot of
There's a lot of stuff.
but we're going Jedediah Blackstone.
That's
I'm
it.
calling it Jedediah.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect.
I sponsored your last show and have always believed in you, but getting to see it in person, it blew my mind. And I got to take my son for his first big theater experience, first Denver theater experience, and he loved it too. At that time, he would have been 6, and fell madly in love with you as a creator. Early on, but especially after seeing you in person. So we were so excited for that. Part of what I've been so drawn to you with is your ability to talk about real shit by storytelling, right? And so we've talked from early on, like, what does anti-racism through storytelling mean? What does that exactly look like? So we have your show running from September 25th through October 5th.
Yes.
Okay, so September, I know it's like behind me. I should have been there because I could see it. September 25th through October 5th, the show's running at the Clayton campus on MLK and Colorado Boulevard, so super easy to get to. We have that show running, and then we turn around in November. We're doing a Boots and Bling plus Broncos fundraiser for Project ICU Shared Power Initiative,
Nice.
which is all about how do we move forward with equity in the future. And so to me, it's like without knowing our history, we cannot, and without really acknowledging our history, how can we actually move forward and be on the right side of history as we go into the future? And so to me, one, these are so tied together, right? Because an acknowledgement of realities is so important in any equity work. But then also for them both to be Western themed, I was like, we have to get this together.
Right.
And so here we are.
Here we are.
So that is how we ended up here. And now I have some questions for you
Absolutely.
as Jedediah. I keep wanting to say Jedediah. You can leave them on.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still Jedediah Blackstone.
That's right.
Later, we're going to talk to Jeff Campbell.
That's fine.
I can't wait to meet him.
He's around.
He's around.
He's around.
He's around.
Yeah, he's nearby.
Is around, etc.
He's nearby.
So where did you get the inspiration for this particular show?
Well, thank you for that, Lindsay, and I super appreciate you for giving me the opportunity to share this story with you, but I was never really into the cowboy stuff coming up as a kid or Western anything. Any of that stuff was just not really me because I was always made to feel like I was not a cowboy. Like that was not. My father, he was super into it. When he passed away, I wanted to find a way to like kind of connect his world with mine. So it was a bit of a reconciliation, for me and my father. And that was like the crux of the inspiration. I just didn't know how. A friend calls me on the phone and says, hey, Central City, they're doing all of these new things. They want to get some tourism. I drove up there. Matter of fact, I Googled it first. And out of the blue, Clara Brown's popped up. The name Clara Brown popped up. And I had heard her story on the periphery, and I had heard her story before, but it wasn't until I tuned in and I saw what was really going on with this woman I was so blown away by her story. Discovered there's a opera about her life called Gabriel's Daughter. There's several books. There's a stained glass window in the state capitol. There's a statue in the African American Museum of History and Culture in D.C.
Wow.
And possibly not for long.
Right.
Which tells us exactly why history is so important.
Yes.
And there is a apartment complex on 37th in York called Clara Brown Commons, and there's even a Clara Brown Entrepreneurial Academy in Aurora.
Wow.
And on my visit up there, I saw this placard that said Central City, or it said Clear Creek County Contributions. And there's the Colorado Central Railroad, a few photos of that. And there's a photo of Clara Brown. And the very first sentence in the paragraph next to her name really struck me, and really started me down this journey. Like, I have to tell her story. It said, unlike most of Colorado Gold Rush pioneers, Clara Brown had already reaped her bonanza, freedom, which she purchased from her Kentucky slaveholder in 1856. And it just struck me that they equated her inherent right of self-determination to a white man striking gold. And that struck me in my core.
I have like full body goosebumps. Say it again. They equated
Her freedom.
Yeah.
They equated her freedom to bonanza. Bonanza means when you strike gold.
Yeah.
And so she already reaped her bonanza. And so that just struck me. And this is not a blog. This is not some burner accounts on Instagram. This had to have been approved by the state or approved by the county. And I just thought to myself, like, why would they tell her story like that? And it goes on to just really give this disparaging story about Clara. And her story is not a tragedy. Her story is a triumph. And she lived, she helped pay for the first Protestant and Catholic churches to be in the Rockies. She paid for people's freedom and brought folks out west with the promise that the West was different. Like, this is a powerful story. This is the Rocky Mountain version of Harriet Tubman.
Right.
And I'm like, what in the world are we doing as a state if this is how we represent her along Highway 119 on a historic marker? That didn't make sense to me.
Right.
So I felt like, well, she's one of the stories I've got to tell. And she's just one of several pioneers that I'll be talking about in the story.
Okay. It's going to be so good. So how does a man, Jedediah, tell those stories? So talk to us a little bit about how the character that you're in now.
Yeah.
Right? Because then I'm going to make you take off the glasses and be
Okay.
Jeff Campbell. Right?
Okay.
I know. You prefer to be in character, and I get that. But so how are you going to integrate and tell these stories?
Okay.
And it's making me think of Bobby Trombone, of course.
Well, so check this out. There is a whole culture, a whole community called cowboy storytellers. And they have these annual conventions. And they talk about the West. And there's these there's contests, and there's these big conventions where they convene and they all share cowboy stories. And so I got online, I got on YouTube, and I was looking up all these guys, Buster Black, and what do they do? Improvisational rhyming.
They rap.
About gunslingers and outlaws. These are gangster rappers. They're gangster rappers.
Yeah. Literally.
Literally.
Just different gangs.
Just different gangs.
Yeah. That are glorified in movies instead of
Right.
demonized. Yeah.
I saw that and I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna be the black cowboy storyteller. So I said, okay, well, I'm gonna flip it and interpret it in a tongue-in-cheek way, but just to kind of poke fun at that whole thing.
Yes.
And just show that, there's not a whole lot of difference between homeboys and cowboys.
I love that.
You know what I'm saying? And so
Yes.
I wanted to really bring that to light, and I really touch on that in the story, and so how the character comes, because it is the origin story of the alter ego and the untold tales from the dark side of the West.
The dark side of the
Yes,
West.
from the dark side of the West.
I can't wait.
So yeah, that's kind of how the whole character came.
Yeah. So he's the storyteller.
Right.
One of the questions I've asked you, and I would love your take on, is Is this something we're bringing kids to?
Oh yeah, there is.
Just like, do I create child content?
I mean,
That sounds weird. Cut that. Do I create?
oof.
I know.
There's
It was an awful way to ask the question too. To be fair, I fucked it up. So hold on.
Okay.
Quick question for you, Jeff. Is this something we're bringing our kids to? Is this something that we can use as a way to empower our kiddos with history education that they may not get as a part of their curriculum?
I mean, it is family friendly. It's not really a lot of.
Swearing or
No, there's not really a lot of explicit content.
Yeah.
There isn't that. But the way that I convey the concepts, might not land with a younger audience.
Okay.
It's very. I'm talking to adults
Right.
about these conversations, and this is just how I realized exactly how old I am, because I don't want to hang out in the club and party and stuff. This is a party to me.
Yes.
But
Yes.
this is like my idea of kicking it,
Yes.
and this is my idea of a show is talking about history in this contextual framework of a character, that takes bits and pieces of culture, fuses them together, and tries to really tell a story about narrative and the power of narrative.
Yep.
And those that control the narrative control the power. And here's the rub: the narrative is what gives you power. So if you can tell a story about something and you could tell it long enough, we see it all the time on television right now. They tell a story over and over and over again, and then people begin to believe it. I mean, as they're pulling Clara Brown and other history out of museums, out of they're censoring it in classrooms, in curriculums in classrooms, and yet they're talking about renaming military bases and re-erecting Confederate statues. We're like, what story are you telling, and why are you telling that? And so some of these concepts young folks might not, fully grasp, and that's fine, but they should enjoy the fun. They should hear the stories of these folks that are not talked about in their classrooms.
Okay.
So, yeah.
With it being Western, is there a lot of gun violence or anything like that? Or is it pretty toned down on that side of things because it's more of a storytelling event?
Yeah, we got some cool little costumes and stuff, but we're not doing any. There's no reenactments of shootouts or nothing like that. But we got some costumes, and it's set inside of a saloon.
Okay, yeah, as it should be. That's where the storytelling happens, right?
It's set inside of the saloon, and so we're just having fun. But most of all, I'm the traveling poet and storyteller, so I have accompanied musicianship, DJ Musa, legendary DJ here in town. And I have the legendary Erica Brown.
That's awesome.
And her daughter, Lady MJ, singing backup for me. And I also have I got my own version of Scoop and Scrap. We're going to be looking like the Gap Band up there. I got 2 dancers with me. So we're going to get there.
Excited.
Yeah,
so
it's fun. So we have the musical numbers, and then we have the stories in between. Folks should have fun and learn something while they have fun.
Yeah. Awesome.
Okay.
Well, I'm already booked for a couple of nights.
Nice.
But I know you have a history of selling out your shows. And so I don't want to go to every single one because then that would be selfish. Right? But I will say he has a history of selling out his shows. So get your tickets now. It's a limited run, September 25th through October 5th.
Right.
Grab your tickets. There are some matinees. So when I talk about bringing my kiddo, I'm going to bring him to the 2:00 matinee. That to me feels super easy. 7:30 shows. And it runs for hour and a half, 2 hours?
It's about a 70-minute show.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Intermission, no intermission.
No intermission,
Okay.
70 minutes all the way through.
Oh my gosh.
It'll go by quick.
Talk about not wanting to be at the club, honey. So it is starting at 7:30,
right.
And we're home and in bed by like 9. I mean, does it get better than that? Laugh a little.
Right.
Learn a lot.
Right.
And enjoy ourselves.
That's it.
All right.
That's it.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Jedediah.
Oh.
I can't wait to talk to Jeff later.
Okay, that's good.
So we'll talk to him more later.
Okay.